Have you ever wondered who issues tornado watches? The Storm Prediction Center in Norman is responsible for issuing severe weather outlooks and watches. Meteorologist Jace Passmore got a behind-the-scenes look of how the center operates.
The Storm Prediction Center is the hub when it comes to severe weather forecasting, issuing severe weather outlooks and collaborating with the National Weather Service offices across the country to issue severe weather watches to help keep you safe at home. I was able to catch up with some of the forecast meteorologists and get a behind-the-scenes look at how the Storm Prediction Center forecasts and some of the changes that are coming soon. At the National Weather Center on the campus of the University of Oklahoma sits the Storm Prediction Center. This is a dream job for many meteorologists who work at the National Weather Service offices across the country. The forecasts issued by the SPC are used and viewed by millions on severe weather days.
The point of our mission is to get information out to as many people as possible about what is happening. We like to say we need to tell people what we know when we know it, so that they can, so decision makers can make decisions such as closing schools or opening shelters and things like that.
Patrick Marsh has worked at the Storm Prediction Center for over a decade, issuing forecasts on many days where significant tornadoes happened and many lives were altered forever. Marsh said on days like the Moore 2013 tornado, those are the days that show how incredibly difficult it is to perfectly predict Mother Nature.
There is a little bit more tension in the air from the fact that we know that it's going to be a big day, that the possibility that there are people who are going to lose their lives that day and that lives will be changed. And so we want to make sure that we're on our A game.
Look at the Storm Prediction Center's forecast risk. Now, kind of like us, they go level 1 through 5, starting at marginal, which is their level 1, going all the way to high, which is their level 5. Now, notice down here at the bottom, so for a level 5 out of 5 or a high risk, a tornado outbreak or significant widespread damage is expected. Now, none of this changes. So for high risk, we expect the storms to be widespread. Same thing for moderate numerous storms at that level 3 out of 5, scattered to isolated as we go towards that level 1 out of 5. But also notice the intensity. Once we get to that level 4 out of 5 or moderate risk on the SPC scale, we're expecting intense, and then that level 5 out of 5 or high risk, very intense. Now, really the only difference between our forecasts and the SPCs is the wording and also the color. Notice we don't have that slight or enhanced or moderate. We go low, medium, and high. So the highest risk for us is extreme, and this is to kind of prevent confusion. Some people are easily confused about the enhanced or moderate, which one is higher. So to cut that out, we went low, medium to high, and our highest is extreme. Marsh said, opposed to popular beliefs, the most stressful days at the SPC are not the big weather days, but rather the low-end severe weather days where things are spread out from coast to coast. Marsh added that time management is one of the very important skills needed to thrive at the National Weather Service and at the Storm Prediction Center,
where it's widespread across the country. And you can come in and you have to deal with severe thunderstorms in the northeast. Then you've got severe thunderstorms in the southeast. And you might have some sort of mesoscale system moving across the northern plains. And then you've got new stuff developing in the Rocky Mountains. Those are the days where you have to come in, and they're stressful because each one of those areas has a different threat and a different regime.
Rich Thompson has been with the SPC since the early 90s, and during that time, he's moved offices and has seen many upgrades to forecasting. Thompson said many new changes are coming to short-term forecasting.
That, we try to get those out ahead of watches, and we try to update the watch areas. We're also focusing on smaller corridors within the watches, like here's the corridor for the most serious tornado threat. Instead of just talking about the entire watch, it may only be a string of a few counties where the most serious threat resides.
That was Jace Passmore reporting, and you can watch this story again and more on K8 Weather Now. The latest episode is out on KAIT8.com, the K8 News app, and our other digital platforms.